Welcome to At Balance, a company that provides workshops and services for your well-being. The company was created by me, Jules. We provide workshops for young people where they learn to create natural products. And we've just completed our summer season. Have a look at the website and see the pictures and see the work that we do with young people to support their growth and development. We are now taking bookings for spring and summer Making Sense workshops for 2024. If you're interested in an event for your team to support their well-being, get in touch with us. Our personal development workshops are designed for people that want to work with the negative challenges within their lives and encourage growth so that people can realize and work towards achieving their potential. You can book sessions on the website or use a contact facility on the website if you need further information on any of our workshops. This week, on the 10th of October, it will be Mental Health Day. In this session, we will look at mental health and the services that are provided to the Black community. But before we do that, we will need to understand some of the hesitations people may have for coming forward for help for their mental health. As a society, we categorize people with attributes that are natural for members of those categories. This helps us to deal with others without needing to use too much thought about them. On the other hand, if we have evidence that a person has an attribute that makes them different from our perception of the norm, and the attribute is less desirable, they become reduced in our mind to a tainted person, and this attribute becomes a stigma. These occur when the undesirable attribute fails to match the stereotype given to an individual. Stigmas are attributes that could be discrediting to the person that it is attributed to. Stigmas can include people that have physical disabilities, people that are perceived as having a weak will or blemishes on their character, one of these being mental health. Tribal stigmas, these refer to race, nation, and religion. Often, a person that has a stigma is regarded by, inverted commas, a normal person, as not being quite human. As a result, people are discriminated against in different ways, and the behaviour is justified by the construction of a stigma ideology to rationalise and justify our behaviour towards the stigmatised person or people. The stigma that is associated with mental health can often stop people seeking help when they are aware that they may have an issue at the early stages of a mental health illness. And in some cases, only access services when they're in a crisis state and need to be sectioned. One of the ways to explain a stigma a bit further is if you look at some of the storylines in some books. In the book, The Wide Sargasso Sea, a wealthy white man married a woman that he thought was white. For when they went for their honeymoon, in the Caribbean, he found out that she was black. And he totally began to disrespect her because of the knowledge that in his eyes, she was a tainted person. If you read some of Charles Dickens' books, especially The Christmas Carol, he shows the treatment of people that are rich to people that are poor. Because there's a stigma. When a race is stigmatized and when a race has experienced discrimination because of the color of their skin or their status or their religion, that in itself can cause mental health problems. The act of discrimination, the act of being the out-group, can actually cause the mental health problems. And I can understand that it will be quite hard for somebody that is a black person to sit in front of a white person and try and explain this. So I can understand why people may have an issue about seeking help for mental health problems. And it's only when they're in a really bad state and they have no choice that they access the help they need. A paper by NHS England aimed to improve the services of IAP, access to psychological therapies. These services you can refer yourself to and are often called talking therapies. You can have one-to-one support or telephone support. And they can help with anxiety and some depressions and other mental health disorders. You'll be assessed and they'll let you know if you're suitable for their support. The research found that for Black, Asian and ethnic minority groups, they were less likely to use the services available, less likely to complete treatment, and less likely to show improvement after treatment. The authors suggested that some of the ways that this can be improved is to ensure that the needs of the service users were prioritised. Resources that may improve engagement might be developing directories which would enable service users to access organisations that may better support their needs. In 2020, a parliamentary briefing paper by Carl Baker outlined mental health statistics for England. In his work, he found Black British were 20% more likely to access services during 2018 and 2019. We found that Asian and British Asians were 14% less likely to be in contact with mental health services. We experienced lockdown during 2020 and 2021. And so we know that there has been an increase in demand for mental health services because of this. If mental health is supported properly, then it will be of benefit to society. Learning to understand when we're not feeling well and getting help and getting support that we need will in turn create a more resilient environment.